Unfortunately, I can't seem to bring these pictures into proper focus. Take a good look and have a guess. What am I seeing right here? I'll tell you in a minute. These are all pictures, but let's go to the middle of the page. See what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the real deal, people. The real deal. Right there, that little troll over there, that's me. That's our papa, cousin, my sister, Christine. The champ himself, peeps. Christine, Muhammad Ali, Dudu, my cousin. See, 1974. This was Kinshasa, huh? Okay, my papa, where's my finger? My papa right there was CEO of the country's national airlines. Me, right here. My sister, Christine. My older sister, Anne. Actually, I should say Marie is our oldest sister. Let me show you a family picture. Fly. We're so fly. Check this out. Look at us. Aren't we pretty? Yes, we is. Oldest sister, me. Other sister, right before me. Oldest brother. Well, oldest sister. He's first. She's next. Ooh, let me show you another funky picture right here. Yeah. Mama. Papa. And the family, the kids. That was before my junior sister came along. Carolyn, a.k.a. Licky. She didn't exist yet. This is 1975. Yeah. That's me and my cousin Philip. Rest in peace. He passed away in a car crash about 10 years ago now. Yeah? Check this out. Who that is, people. Yeah. All right now. My bragging rights right there. All right. I'm finna tell you a few stories. Should you be bored and have nothing better to do? So, the first story is my true claim to fame. Forget Technotronic and all of that. When I was two years old, because this happened in 1974, okay, my father was CEO of the country's national airlines. That was Zaire back then. You know, one of the people in charge of bringing in the champ. Yeah, Muhammad Ali for the Rumble in the Jungle fight. So, obviously, I have no memories of this, but I was told that they held me up to him, you know, my parents and my mother or whatever, or my father, I don't know, somebody had me in their arm and say hello to Muhammad Ali, and I said, I punched the champ in his face, and he said something like, girl, you don't know who you're hitting. Okay, big deal. But I know I told this story to people during my childhood. Of course, they didn't believe me. But true story. Okay. Okay. Story number 2. When I was 15 years old, I was living here in Belgium, feeling miserable. My home life was fine. I come from a great home. You know, my mom is top 100 mothers of the whole wide world. So, you know, no complaints in that department. But outside was just miserable for me. I mean, there were barely any black people around. It was just a bunch of ignorant, racist people, and I just wanted to go somewhere where I knew there were black people. Now, I knew there were black people in France. I knew there were black people in Great Britain. I knew there were black people in Holland. You know, even though there are black people in Brussels, I'm in Antwerp. But back then, I just wanted to get out of here. So my father, who worked for the airlines back then, you know, we used to get on a lot of free flights or cheap flights or whatever. But I had a closet full of unused tickets. And I found this ticket. I had 2 tickets that were still valid back then. You know, you can't do that anymore. Now, I think after 1 year, your tickets expire. But back then, they stayed valid. So I had one Nairobi, Brussels, no, what is it? Brussels, Nairobi, Brussels ticket, and one Brussels, Chicago, Brussels ticket. And back then, Belgians still had to have visas, and I had an indefinite visa for the USA, and I had a visa for Kenya, but it expired in 1985, and this was 1987. Now, I did try, mind you, I was 15, so I did try to change the 5 on my Kenya visa into a 7, but it was pretty obvious that, and this was in my Zairian passport. I had a Belgian passport as well, because back then the laws whatever changed, and any kid that lived in Belgium with their mother systematically got the Belgian nationality, because I think a lot of North Africans, Muslim fathers would kidnap their children, take them away from their mothers. So they made the law so that if you live in Belgium and your mother's a Belgian, you become Belgian too. So I had a Belgian passport with this indefinite USA visa on it, and so I opted to go to use my Brussels, Chicago, Brussels ticket. Yeah. So first I was wearing braces back then. I got on a train. I left a note for my poor mother. Oh, Mama, I'm so sorry. Anyway, like I said, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Blah blah. I just gotta get away or whatever. And I got on a train. Went to Holland first, Amsterdam. It was an adventure on its own, because I made up this story that I was an American. I wanted to be an American so bad back then. Okay, I made up this story that I was an American girl called Lisa Cole, and that I'd lost all my luggage, or whatever. It was all stolen, or whatever. I was trying to find a way to get myself to go to the States legally. Anyway, I ended up I met some prostitute down in the subway, and then I ended up spending a week with her at her boyfriend's place. Yes, prostitute had a boyfriend. Okay, but my lie was just getting bigger and bigger, and I just at some point I knew I had to get out of there, because they had ended up going to the police to try to help me out, and I knew I was lying and stuff. So. Well, yeah, my braces during the trip to Amsterdam in the train, I pulled them out with a pocket knife. I cut off all my hair. I didn't want to be recognized in case my moms might search for me. And then after a week in Amsterdam, I took a train to Brussels, and I got 40 minutes after I got to the airport, there was a plane to Chicago. Got on the plane, flew to Chicago. When I got there, I saw the buck out of somebody with my same story that I lost all my luggage or something, and I just needed to get downtown. He gave me $1. I got on a subway. Yeah, at first at customs, I was so scared. I was trying to keep my cool. I said, okay, don't give yourself away. Just keep your cool. And they looked at my passport, looked at me, said, don't you have to be 16 to travel on your own? I'm like, oh, they got people picking me up, whatever. Okay. So, after I got my $1, I got on the subway, went downtown Chicago. This was January, cold as heck. And I, spent the day there. I think I had a little bit of change, and we drank a Coca-Cola somewhere. And just roamed all night, just walked. I spent my little buck. And then, at some point in the night, I decided, okay, this is freaking cold. My ears felt like if I touched them, they would break off. That's how cold it was. I saw this lady, this black lady. I approached her. Of course, at first, I was like, okay, but I had this story that okay, my name is Lisa Cole. I'm from New York, even though I had a foreign accent. Anyway. She said she was going to church. Okay, I joined her in the church. There was some kind of service going on, but not a lot of people there. My very first time in a black church in America. But there was no crowd, so I didn't really see all the action that usually goes down in a crowded, Pentecostal church in the States. But after the service, the pastor there said, asked me questions. Of course, I didn't, I didn't have good answers, so I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know, okay. Next thing you know, of course, they called the cops, so I went with the cops, and then at the police station, I sat down, they asked me questions, I was Lisa Cole from New York. Oh, how old are you? I said, I'm 18. I was 15, mind you. Okay, they said, oh, okay, kid, you're on your own. They took me to a homeless shelter. By then, it was probably 4 in the morning. By 6 in the morning, they woke me up. I noticed I was the only one there. Everybody else had already left. I said, you gotta go. I got up, got out, was walking downtown for a while, and, I realized that I made a collect call. Yeah, I made a collect call. I don't know, to my boyfriend in Belgium at the time or something. And I also had a card for the shelter I slept in. So I called them. They said, I said, I wanna turn myself into the police, blah, 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 whatever. They said, well, where are you? And I gave them the street, whatever. I said, there should be cops right there. So I walked over to the cops. While walking over to the cops, I'm like, okay, I'm a 15-year-old runaway from Belgium, and I come to turn myself in. They were looking at me funny at first. I repeated myself. Anyway, I ended up at the police station. Of course, they thought this was the most interesting story ever. Like, they were calling each other up, like, because you won't believe what we have here. A 15-year-old runaway from Belgium. Okay. Back then I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to roll them myself because it's cheaper out here. I still had some tobacco and some paper. I started rolling them. They're looking at me like, what you doing? What's that? And I'm smoking cigarettes. They said, you have to be 18 to smoke here. But if you go to the bathroom, you can do what you want over there. So I went to the bathroom with my little cigarette smokes. Cool motherfuckers. Anyway, so, yeah. And from there, of course, they contacted my mom's in Belgium. And, and then my father had a friend, still has a friend, who lives in Chicago. And I ended up staying there with his wife. We'd visited them once before, years before, on a trip, my first trip to America, which was in 1985, actually. So this was 2 years later. So, yeah, I ended up staying with her, Kathy. What up, Kathy? Hey. But, I was just more about having fun than studying, which was really what I was there supposed to do. So I think after about 6 months or so, I ended up having to come back to Belgium. But I turned 16 out there, and then after I turned 17, before I turned 18, got the whole Technotronic deal going on, and then I pretty much spent a lot of time in the States. So that was good with me. All right. My story number 3. This one, I have to say, I'm not proud of. I have a solo album which was released back then. It's called One World Nation. It was a flop. So you probably ain't never heard of it. Or you might have. Anyway, there's one song on it called Risky Business, I think it's called. And that song was given to me, was written by these guys called Alim. I don't know if you know the song, you remember the confusion is in my brain. Confusion, there's got to be a love game. Mornings always take me by surprise. When I wake and I don't see you by my bedside. Yes, those guys. They made that song, and this guy called Leo Burgess, who's the guy who sings Confusion, actually, sang the song and wrote the lyrics, okay? He is Leroy Burgess, originally sang that song and wrote the lyrics, but supposedly, for me. But then but for some reason, because he was with a union and not with that, I don't know what the reason was, but that supposedly he couldn't take the credit for it, or so I was told. They even tried to get me to take the credit for it. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I didn't write that song. I can't be taking credit for something I didn't do. It's just not my steed, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna do that, period. Yeah, so... but he never got credit for it. His name is not written on the album, and I just want to make clear, even though I sang the song like doo-doo on the album, when he sang it, it sounded proper. It sounded really good because that dude can sing. Okay, but, so it's on my album. It says it It's written by not him, okay? And I just wanted to confess that one. So Leroy, if you're out there and you see this, I don't know how we can set this right. Obviously that album flopped, so it's not making any money. The record company's still recouping on that, so but you never know. One day, maybe when it's recouped, I should just sang the song, dude. And it was they thought it was a good idea that I should sing that song because it was around the time that Amy Fisher, Joey Buttafuoco case was going on, and that's pretty much what the song is about. It's about some girl who ends up shooting up dead. Anyway, whatever. So it fit that story. All right, next story. Oh yeah, Saturday Night Live. First time I did Saturday Night Live, I had never heard of Saturday Night Live. Had no idea what Saturday Night Live is. I remember walking from the dressing room, I guess, to the stage, and there was press there. You know, cameras flashing, and oh, Jackie K, how does it feel like to be on Saturday Night Live? And I'm like, I had never heard of Saturday Night Live, so I don't. It didn't mean nothing to me, really. I don't know. It's just a TV show I'm doing out here. So okay. All right, next story. They must have thought, that arrogant, pompous little yatch. Whatever. Okay. Oh, yeah. In 1993, I remember waking up from a dream, and I felt like, ugh. In my dream, there was a riot going on. Yeah? There was a riot going on. People were looting, burning shit, and I was standing outside with some luggage, and I'd done at Arsenio Hall a while ago, a couple of years before or something, and you know, back then they gave you this little teddy bear, Arsenio Hall teddy bear. Anyway, so I had my little Arsenio Hall teddy bear on my suitcase or whatever, and people was looting and burning things, so they would come in and take my stuff. I'm like, no, you can't do that. I was on Arsenio Hall. As if that made some kind of difference, you know. When I woke up from that dream, I felt so stupid. Like, really? Who gives a shit? You know, like, really, like being on Arsenio Hall is gonna keep people from taking your shit during a riot or whatever. So when I woke up from that dream, I was thinking, I never want to be like that. I never want to think that because I was or am or whatever was famous, that somehow that makes me special. Okay? I never want to think that way about myself ever. All right, so I just thought I'd put that out there. That was a dream. It happened in the night, in my sleep. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sometime during the later 1990s, 1995, 1996 or whatever, I used to take these trips. I used to live in the northeast Bronx, and I would drive 6 hours up north, upstate New York to Elmira every weekend. You know, regularly, every weekend. And this was really early in the morning. I was way upstate, and I was doing 50 on a 55 mile per hour, you know, speed limit highway. I was close to my destination out there. It was misty. It was maybe, you know, like a dusk. Yeah, it was light, but very misty. I had my high beams on, and I was bumping my favorite cassette at the time is Willie D's album, Going Out Like a Soldier, yeah? So this track called Born Killer, something on there. It goes like, born killer. I'm that motherfucking goddamn nigga, right? So, same time, there are two deer crossing the road. Now I'm doing 50 on the 55, so it's not like I'm speeding at all. And these deer, I'm thinking, okay, I'm far enough. By the time I reach them, they will have crossed the road. But they froze. And while I'm going, I'm that motherfucking goddamn boom, impact. Oh my goodness. I just hit the brakes, my head down. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I started crying and praying that I didn't kill any deer. Okay. By the time I calmed down and got out the car, deer were nowhere to be found. I did see some blood and the mushed up grass on the hood of my car. But no dead deer. Later on, my manager, Judy, at the time, told me that deer are known to survive those kind of impacts. So, you know, I'm just grateful to the universe to have spared my conscience from having committed, what is it? Deer slaughter. Okay. Ooh, good Lord. And, the last story, yeah. You're going to like this one. This last story. Back then, my life was a little bit in shambles. This is the late 1990s. And these dudes, I was crashing at my friend Mike's place. I'm not going to give his name since he's become a celebrity and put his name out there. But him and this other dude, this other, what is it, prison Muslim convert, you know, one of those people, they go to prison and they find God in prison. Anyway, this one was a Muslim, called himself Chill, right? These two were pressuring me, okay, to get on a float in the gay pride parade in the village. This Crystal Waters was going to be there too, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do that, okay? What for? Okay, I'm not into that shit stuff, okay? That gay pride business is not my business, really. They pressured me like crazy. This chill guy was cleaning my shoes with a toothbrush, okay, making sure I had clean shoes to wear to get on the float in a freaking gay pride parade. Yeah. My friend Mike, when I'm like telling him, look, it's not gonna happen, I'm not gonna do it, he's like, you know, Manuela, it's not always all about you. If it weren't for him saying that, I would have not been on that float. But somehow that got to me, and I gave in. And, you know, so people saw me on a float in the gay pride parade back in the late 90s. So I know them people that saw me there must swear up and down that I'm one of them, okay? So I don't blame y'all for thinking that, you know. Especially if you heard or if you saw me on a freaking float in the freaking gay pride parade, okay, in New York City, okay? But, yeah, so that's one of my regrets, because I had no business on a freaking gay pride parade float. Alright? Anywho, so, took up 20 minutes of your time. I guess that's about it. Alright? Hasta la vista.